All right, welcome to this weekend / new moon sidereal horoscope for August 14th through the 16th. My name is Athen. So a new moon here on Friday, happening right on the head of the lion, actually conjuncting up to this star Algenubi. And there's a few important considerations of this new moon, which I'm going to cover. Conjunction up to Venus, a trine from Uranus, and a square from Saturn. So first of all, with this new moon, this is certainly new beginnings in relation to our passions or our self-expression, a sort of freshness about that. And that conjunction, associating with the lion's head in particular, is very much about that expression, very much about that lion's roar. Now, as it's quite obvious, the head of the lion is very powerful. So it will be very important under this new moon and for the next 30 days to remain connected to our heart center. Otherwise, that self-expression can sometimes become heartless, can become cruel if that's all we're concerned with. It's just that self-oriented energy there. So with that, the pull from Aquarius is reminding us, as it always is, that balancing point to give. And that's what really balances Leo in general, when we're other-oriented, when what we express and what we create is oriented towards giving, oriented towards contributing to visions and ideals and just things larger than self in general. So I think that'll be an important balancing point. We do have some oppositions, which I'll talk about in Aquarius. And this head of the lion, very powerful for self-expression now. There is this new freshness about it. And then, with this, particular configuration, just remembering to stay connected to the heart center. So that being said, this conjunction, or this new moon, is conjuncting up to Venus. So here we have been perhaps reassessing or reflecting on our values, who we value, what we value, that kind of thing. Reassessing that, reflecting on that. So maybe there are some new beginnings now in regards to those things. Maybe in the relationship side of things, maybe with finances, maybe with the simple pleasures, maybe with just simply enjoying life. So whatever it is, during the new moon, it's a time to reflect on that, but it can be some new beginnings with the Venusian side of things, a very creative self-expression as well. Now, the trine from Uranus does mean it can be an exciting new moon, actually. Maybe there are literally some new things coming in, and so it is important to be open to newness. Be open to things changing, because all of the slow-moving planets, especially Uranus, are creating new things. And from a trine, it can actually come across as quite nice. So see those opportunities, and I think just being open to new things and excitements, maybe even just a new perspective on our self-expression, will be a good way of allowing that energy to come in. Now, square from Saturn is a reminder that, to stay grounded with all of this. Saturn has been transiting Libra, where he is in dignity. He is well placed. And perhaps we did learn quite a bit about this importance of structure and balance over the past 5 months while he was retrograde. But he's been squaring up to this position, which means that, with that creativity and passion, to stay grounded, remember that there is a long road, that while there might be excitement, especially from Uranus and passion, to just remember that there's a big picture, to be patient, and one step at a time, of course, wins the race. So some things to consider there with that. It's not an exact, it's within orb. It's certainly a square, but it's not very close to the point where I don't think that'll be the high point. I think the high point will certainly be this conjunction up to Venus, that star in Leo, and that trine up to Uranus. So let's go ahead and look at the weekend in relation to this. So Friday is that new moon. There's no other major aspects. The sun will be coming off that trine up to Uranus, but that new moon is trining Uranus, so I think that will still make that excitement highlighted. But again, it's a reflective time. I think, setting intentions is a good way of working with this energy on Friday. And with that freshness, perhaps starting to think about where we want to continue now for this next 30-day lunar cycle. Because once we go into next week, the moon will start to fill up. And through that filling up of energy, we'll have more energy to put towards these intentions. So that's Friday, mostly that new moon energy. And then on Saturday, we have some nice configurations here. The sun will be conjuncting up to that retrograde Venus exact. So here in this sense, Venus will be eclipsing in front of the sun. So like I was saying, there is this reassessment, but with this in particular, this can be a good time to certainly enjoy the creative pursuits, even maybe the romantic, the self-expressive, the sociable, the affectionate energies, again, when it comes to mutual relationship and mutual respect. So some things to remember there with that, because Venus is retrograde. Traditionally, these are enemies actually in the Vedic system, although their conjunction doesn't usually produce negative results depending on where it's aspected. But in Leo, this energy is actually quite uplifted with the sun in dignity here. So I think just staying balanced when it comes to the values, when it comes to finances, when it comes to relationships in general, I think will be a good way to really enjoy them, to see that passion and excitement come through those areas of life. So with that, we've got Mercury trining up to Pluto. So there is a very strong power when it comes to that self-expression, because Mercury is speech, Mercury is communication. So the good news is the trine is that we're open to seeing the truth. We're open to restructuring our ideas. And that's why I think not only is there going to be a freshness about who we are and expressing ourselves, but also of ideas, of concepts, of just the mind in general. So as we lead into Saturday, a restructuring of our mind, and it'll be from wanting to see the truth. And so powerful communications, powerful minds, and all of that can be applied quite nicely when we are open to that. So that'll be Saturday and Sunday, mostly on Saturday though. In the morning on Saturday, the moon conjuncts Jupiter from Leo. That's quite nice. Maybe some more opportunities to express ourselves. The moon opposing up to Neptune is that reminder from Aquarius that there are things larger than self, to give, to contribute, to go with the flow, trust, have faith, and all of that will help balance this very strong self-oriented energy, because Leo is a fire sign. It does have to do with self. And Aquarius is reminding us that there are things larger, there are visions and ideals that involve others and the big picture. So that'll be Saturday. Same kind of energy on Sunday, with the moon starting to fill up energy there. In the morning time period, that activation of that Mercury and Pluto, so very sharp energy again with communications and thoughts, very constructive, or at least can be, especially when we want to restructure the way we are thinking about things or doing things on a day-to-day level. So good mix of the routine there perhaps on Sunday. And then in the evening time, again opposing up to Chiron, who is in Pisces, to have faith and to let go. And it's through that we'll find not only that liberation, which is Uranus, but also that healing, which is Chiron as well. So all in all, the gist is certainly this new moon activated on Friday, and then Saturday in particular, enjoyment of self-expression, very powerful communications and exchanges can be the case if we are open to that, and that will be leading into Sunday as well. But yeah, with the new moon, it's certainly about that self-expression with the head of the lion, staying grounded with our heart center, staying grounded with Saturn, new beginnings with values, and maybe some new things coming in from Uranus, of new ideas, new experiences, perhaps new encounters that we haven't seen before or we're just now experiencing this weekend. So have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Thank you again. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you all on Monday. Take care.